Yeah. So make sure when you're talking.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
good
goal.
luck with that mic.
This one.
I mean, we'll be sharing just fine, but they'll be like, no, give it to me.
Like this. I'm going to hold it right. Does this work? Can you hear both of
Or
us?
do you have to
Nicole
hold?
is
Like,
the
how
right.
close
I
does
think
it need to be to
Nicole
our
will
mouths?
address specific people.
No, so I didn't want it to be that. It's not. This isn't like a debate. I wanted us to like actually like talk to each other about
She
it.
told me it was a debate, and I was going to get
I know. I
muted.
think because I was joking about that yesterday.
Nice,
So
Nicole.
Nicole's job is to, if we start going off on a tangent, or if we, are you turning the otter off? or if we are starting to get repetitive, or I've told her like in advance, like some of the stuff that I want to make sure that we touch on. So if we don't naturally, to like ask it as a question.
Nice.
But yeah, it's not like a she'll butt in if one of us is talking too much, basically.
There's like
Alex.
clarification.
Yeah, if you're not making any sense, she's gonna be like, so
Jeb.
okay.
Yeah, I'm going to need that a lot.
So is what you're trying to say?
And only the two of you guys know the topics?
No, we all know it except for you, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Because we were
Someone
talking
let
about
it
it before you
slip.
got here.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's customizations, customizing workouts,
Yeah.
and even like the idea of why we've been using that word lately as opposed to scaling or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I already got like,
I know it.
yeah,
I
cool.
know. Give me the mic. Alex is gonna rap everything. She's not allowed to speak unless she's rapping.
Nice.
Yo yo.
Just going to bro time it or what?
I think we're live.
You think?
Hold on.
She's not a flexor all in the world. Caitlin got a visor.
Nice, Caitlin.
Caitlin, did we get Christine to agree to do the 2-minute bike test live?
Oh yeah, I don't know if she said she's gonna do it.
We need somebody.
I'm going to call it right now. 1:40.
We need somebody.
I did it in a minute 36. She'll do it faster than
She's
that.
small though.
She's
tiny. She's smaller than you.
It's not that I don't believe. It's
Her
just
fitness is high, but she's small.
Her power output is my concern on the bike.
Yeah.
She's still great.
Are we live?
Rach,
Yeah.
how are your traps?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, right?
Um, I need somebody there though, because Caitlin, like, how are we gonna know if she actually hit the calories if she's just doing it in there by herself?
Her son.
Oh, okay. He's going to hit it live. Hey, tell him we want it filmed just like I filmed you.
Yeah, she's gonna tell me a day. She said she had a rough bike day yesterday.
Okay.
What was it? I saw her picture comment like stop posting challenges for your own enjoyment or something.
We are live, Rachel. Just
And we're live.
Awesome.
But
He's using my.
do. Oh,
Please use the mics. Okay.
Okay,
Does,
what are
does
we
this
supposed to
work
just go
out,
right
or
into
do we
it?
actually
Yeah.
want us like here? You want us here?
Make sure it's not like this, not like that.
with
Okay.
the dot forward. The
With the
dot
dot
needs to go forward. I learned
talk
that.
into the dot.
Talk into the dot
Oh,
like
talk
this.
into the dot.
Okay.
So right now you're talking into the top.
Yeah.
I'm not talking at all. Actually, I was just holding it.
But you, now you're talking.
But I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to you. Okay.
All right. We're live. So, Brenda, what are we doing here today?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is an unofficial name for this podcast, but it's the Street Parking Coaches Roundtable. Is it a podcast if it's on film? I don't even, what is it called if it's on YouTube Live? Is it technically a podcast?
What are they
Live
call
stream?
When in West
That's not
Coast
even
Customs,
close enough to your mouth at all.
In West Coast Customs, where they would talk about their customizations, what do they call that? Just probably a roundtable. Exactly what we're calling it.
What? I know what you're talking about. Oh, did they? Oh, when they were like meeting with
Yeah,
the,
when they
okay, I
got
see.
Yo, I got Cheeto over here. What are you doing, Cheeto? Well, let me tell you what I'm doing with the band today, and then whatever.
Wow, that was a really big reach back into time.
Yeah. It was.
I thought it would be fun. So last week on the Street Parking Facebook group, a hot topic was the RX button. And while I was going back and forth and doing all my posts about it, I thought, what could be really useful is if the coaches got together once a week, picked a topic similar to the RX button, and just talked about it. Talked about our own personal thoughts about whatever the topic is, and our beliefs as far as like the coaching staff of street parking, and just, give the people the answers to the questions that we see come up most often.
That's great. So how are we going to kick this off?
So today, do we have any live watchers even, Salvi? Watchers?
We have 23 people on.
Nice. Okay, cool. So today we're going to talk about the topic that I have chosen for the very first ever roundtable is customizing workouts.
West Coast Customs.
Exactly, Cheeto. You could be Cheeto.
Works out really well. Perfect.
Or exhibit.
Yeah. Can I be Exhibit?
Was he the host?
Yeah.
He was, right?
He was.
He was so cool.
Who do you want to be?
I mean, I'm so lost right now. So is this an extension of my ride or what?
You don't remember West Coast
Also
Customs?
West Coast
It was.
Customs.
So the show...
It was.
Yeah.
Explain it.
Oh, I don't know much about it. I know what Pimp My Ride is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
that's what
West
it was.
Coast Customs was the group that did Pimp My Ride. It was the same.
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't know that.
That's when I started realizing you can't trust anyone because they will take your ideas and create their own, which they did a good job. But anyway,
This is like Nicole, you could have jumped in at any point. So Nicole's back there, and she's gonna, if we start talking for way too long or not making sense, she's gonna try to help us out. Or if any really good like questions or clarification comes up in the comments on the YouTube live that's going right now, she'll let us know. But yeah, customizing workouts. So a lot of times the words that we've used in the past are subs, modifications. We don't typically use the word scale so much, but that's a common word used in workouts is, I'm going to scale it. And so, yeah, I just kind of want to throw it out there. Customizations. Jeb, kick it off. When you think customizations, or why do you like this word, and what do we mean when we say customize the workout?
Okay, so when you work out, when we write workouts, we have a specific thing in mind that we want everyone to get out of the workout. And with 30,000 plus people looking at the same basic framework of a workout, if everyone does it exactly as it's written, then they're all going to get something completely different from it. And then over the course of a week, everybody getting something totally different out of the workouts, who knows what that's doing to their fitness at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, which is why we have the goals and the intended stimulus behind the workout. And the way to get to that is through customizing the workout so that you can get what's intended by it.
Yeah, so for example, if you see something, talking about intended stimulus, if you see something that's like a 20-minute AMRAP, normally you'll see that we want you moving pretty steadily for the entire 20 minutes. Most often, if you see something like that. Versus if you see like today's workout is 3 4-minute AMRAPs, where we're wanting more of like a hardcore pace for 4 minutes, and then there's built-in rest. So yeah, each workout that we put out there, we're looking for a specific intensity level, an amount of rounds that we're looking for you to get, the amount of reps, how much work basically you're going to do in that time period, or the pace that we want you guys to be able to keep. So that's what he's talking about with intended stimulus. So kind of to give a little bit of background on SP, when we started street parking, program A, B, and C, a question that we got a lot and we still get today are A, B, and C levels? We'll let Julian answer that one.
Yeah, they're not levels. When we started street parking, we wanted to make it accessible for everyone to do at home, right? And, coming from the CrossFit gym background, one of the things that we always trained with was either a barbell, dumbbells, kettlebells, or sandbag, odd objects, right? So we knew that we had the ability to create different versions based off of the equipment that you had at home. So we would create a workout, and then program A is just what the dumbbell version is for that day's workout. Program B is the exact same workout, but it's the barbell version. And keep in mind, we do make the adjustments needed to make sure that the reps also make sense, right? Because we know that there's limitations when it comes to dumbbells, and we make sure that we make the adjustments on the rep schemes. And then program C is for the individual who has a little bit more available to them in their garage gym, whether that be a rower or an assault bike, and also odd objects like kettlebells, sandbags, or a D-ball. So each version is just a different version of what the daily workout is. So it's not levels, it's just what do you have at home.
The thing that was really important for us with that is we knew, at least when we first started, maybe not so much this year, that a lot of our members would be doing the workouts sometimes at a gym and sometimes at home. Or actually, when we first created the program, I had in mind people who traveled because that's who I was. So sometimes I had access to a full gym. A lot of times I was in a hotel gym. And where it would be annoying is if you were following programming that didn't have a dumbbell option or only had a dumbbell option, but I wanted to be able to use my barbell when I had it. So again, not levels, but just like, hey, use what you've got. Here's all the options based on kind of like where you're at or what you've got going on. Rank your favorite from sandbag, dumbbell, barbell. If you had to like rank them, and this is my least favorite to favorite.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. I'm having to think about it. This is not a question that I have had to think through. My favorite is barbell because it's what I'm most used to. So I think I can perform best with it. Next would have to be dumbbells, not because I love them, but because I love what they do for me, because I think I get stronger using them. And then sandbag, but only because I'm not super used to using a sandbag. I do enjoy it when I use it. Thanks, Julian.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, so barbell, dumbbell, sandbag.
Before we go on to...
Hold on, I want everybody else to answer that question.
Oh, okay.
That's a really tough question because there's certain things that I love with
I know.
dumbbells, and then there's certain things that I love with a barbell. Like power cleans are not my favorite thing to do with dumbbells.
Why, Jeb?
Well, mainly because you're pulling from lower down, and so if you have longer levers, I think, or maybe just in general, you have to bend over further to be able to touch the floor. And so it requires either more mobility or compromises your back and your position more. But if I had to choose, yeah, I think I would do the same. I think I'd go barbell, dumbbells, sandbag. Yeah.
Nice. I honestly got to say it depends on the mood that I'm in. I definitely would say that I started off being a big fan of Program B, but it varies at this point based off of how I'm feeling. There's like times where I've favored Program C, which is the odd objects version, which is either kettlebells, D-ball, sandbag, and then there's times where I've pulled back and wanted to go straight barbell for a while, and then times where I've gone in Program A. So I would say that they're all equally my favorite now.
Equal opportunity.
Absolutely.
I would say, okay. So there's like, what do I like versus what's best for me? Kind of like how you answered it. If I had to choose one and it was the only type of like object or whatever I could use for the rest of my life forever, ooh. Aside from the barbell being great for lifting heavy, if I was just going to do the regular workouts, right, where lifting heavy is not an option, like no 20 rep back squats ever going to happen, I think I'd have to go with the dumbbells.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's why I think that when we do Project April, which we do a whole month of just dumbbells, it's refreshing and it actually gets you really excited because you tend to work on those weaknesses and you really learn to appreciate dumbbells because they're so accessible anywhere, whether you're traveling or very limited space. So yes, like dumbbells have they're freaking awesome. They're great.
So when talking about the various equipment, Daughter's daughter mentioned that various program options make it really hard to come up with excuses not to work out, which is excellent. But when it comes to random equipment, how would you work something that maybe isn't programmed for into your workout? Say someone at home is like, cool, I have battle ropes.
Sure.
I'll let Alex answer this one.
This actually came up recently. Someone asked, because we had an odd object newsletter go out, how to substitute battle ropes for double unders. And I don't think that those movements compare in many ways other than just having like a cardiovascular benefit. So I just told her, to take the average time it would take for that set of double unders, and I said to accumulate the time for battle ropes, because I know for me to execute at the intensity I would need to, I can't do it for that sustained amount of time. So I just said, like, maybe do, if it was 30 seconds, 3 sets of 10-second bouts, and just accumulate that time. So yeah.
I think one of the cool things about SP and about like the way that we view a lot of that kind of stuff too, is it daughter's daughter? I like that. Oh, I see. Okay, cool. Is that we're not like super over the top about it. It's like, oh, you have a tire to flip? Like, cool, there's power cleans in the workout, or there's deadlifts. Like, that's also a pull from the ground. Go for it. If a set of 10 deadlifts would take you, 25 seconds, figure out how many tire flips that is and make it happen. Like, we don't get too, again, like the idea is the stimulus, not trying to like make it fit exactly so that you can compare your score with anyone else. We want you guys, whatever makes you excited to work out and motivated to work out. And if that's throwing some battle ropes in, if that's like flipping a tire or swinging a sledgehammer, think of what that movement is most similar to in movements that we program and throw it in there. Absolutely. So kind of like along those lines, we talked about A, B, and C. When we first started street parking, we had A, B, and C for the first year. And then Julian and I had kind of like a light bulb moment when we went to go coach in person at actually the Assault Fitness corporate offices. And there were some people in there that even those programs, even the dumbbell version was maybe a little bit too much for them. Like their fitness level wasn't quite there to reach the intended stimulus. And we thought, well, that's no good. Like, we would have to kind of change the reps and stuff a little bit for them, which is fine. And you can do that with A, B, and C, but that's kind of where Shift was born. So Shift is, again, I don't like calling it the easier version of the workout, which I see a lot of people on Facebook or Instagram, they'll be like, Shift's too easy for me. And I think that's a mistake to think of it. We like to call it the more simple version. So again, the idea when we're creating the Shift workouts is to recreate that stimulus using simpler movements, using a little bit less weight. So maybe instead of 2 dumbbells that you're squatting with, it's just 1 dumbbell or 1 kettlebell at the chest, or maybe it's air squats. So that's kind of how Shift came about. Have you guys ever done a Shift? Have you ever done a Shift workout?
No, I never have, and I definitely wouldn't, just because, like she just said, it's just a simplified version.
What
of
would
the
happen
main
to you if you
workout.
did a Shift workout?
I would probably get rhabdo. The amount of soreness I would have. It's just at my fitness level, when you take movements that are very simple and less technical, then you're talking about hundreds of reps in a workout within 15 minutes, which is that's not good, right? I would never do a Shift workout.
You would never? What if you were injured? What if you were sick?
I mean, if I was sick, I would just probably rest.
Okay, so I have done a Shift workout, and they're great. And I'll be honest, like I have done them when I wanted to just move and not really think about anything else. But I've heard you say that about the Shift before, and I feel like I want to debate it.
Okay. Here we go. Now it's getting real.
No.
Here's the real
really
show.
Debate it, but I disagree to some extent. I understand what you're saying, but I feel like it should be accessible to everybody, And if we're talking about customizations and making it work for you, I think Shift also applies, or that also applies to Shift, where you can adjust the reps. You can adjust the difficulty level of the movements. You can adjust up or down, so you can make the Shift workouts work for you and still have it be simple movements. Because, I mean, you're one of the fittest people on the entire planet, right?
Like at least top million.
Well, at one point, he was one of the top 40 guys in the world, right? So
47.
To say that you can't do a workout because it'll kill you, I don't believe that.
So I've done a lot of shift because I've been pregnant twice. I mean, technically didn't have shift during my first pregnancy, but it was again like when we were formulating the idea for it. And I think Jeb's right. One of the questions that we get a lot is like, well, maybe feel like shift's a little bit too easy, or I'm like crushing the goal that you guys gave me for shift, but I don't feel ready for program A. What I did a lot when I was pregnant to customize is I would use like my regular weight that I was used to from program A, like the 2 25-pound dumbbells, but I would use the rep scheme from shift. Or I did that with a lot of the vault workouts that we filmed, where maybe it was an AMRAP instead of so many rounds. So at least I knew I was only going to be moving for 15 minutes with my huge belly, but I would still use the same weight from program A. So don't feel like you need to customize, you need to choose only shift and only program A or only program B. Like you can mix and match them, absolutely. And some days you might do shift the way it's written. The next day you might look at program A and be like, no, I could totally do this the way it's written. And then some days you're mixing and matching, and that's part of like the customizing idea that we completely encourage.
So let's talk a little bit more about that. When it comes to trying to challenge yourself, would you recommend someone add more reps?
Yeah, so obviously I want
Ask
to go.
the expert.
Well, I want to go back a little bit to like what Jeb was saying, right? Just because he did mention that, like, you know, when it comes to the shift workouts, and the reason why I say this because in my background of being in fitness for so long and doing thousands of workouts at this point, right? The reason why I wouldn't do a shift workout personally is because I already know how to customize the main workout to make that one work for me, right? So when you take a shift workout, a lot of the times, you know, it's a single dumbbell movement or taps on something, and then to make it to make it work for me, now I'm going into what the main version of the workout is. So it ends up customizing itself up to that, but then just kind of lowering the weight or customizing it for me. So that's why still I wouldn't do personally a shift workout, because I know what the intention of a shift workout is.
Your customized shift workout is the main workout.
Exactly, yeah. So my customized shift workout is the main workout. So, you know, because I have thought about that too, right? Like, why don't I ever do a shift workout knowing that? But then it comes down to that, right? It's my experience that allows me to be able to take the main workout and make that one always work for me, depending on what I'm feeling, whether I need to tone it down or I'm feeling like I need to go full glory days and tone it up. So,
Nice. What was your question, Nicole?
So that was my question. It was good in terms of like how to customize. Like,
Yeah,
how
talk
to
about-
increase it. Is it more weight, more reps?
Talk
Like,
about
when
that.
do you make a choice between adding more reps, adding more weight? What determines that for you?
So if I'm going like from program A,
Yeah, or just
And
like
just-
a person. Like who would you customize to actually increase the weight for, increase the reps for? Like, is that a customization that people could actually even do?
oh, for sure. So yeah, I would say if you are crushing the goal in shift as written, I probably would go weight first. So like you said, take the weight from program A and pull that into the shift rep scheme. And once you are crushing the goal, then it's a good time, I think, to transition into program A, where not only are you increasing, or since you've already increased your weight, you now are introducing higher reps as well. I don't know if that's a rule across the board, but as far as the street parking programming goes, I think that that's appropriate.
I would say one of the things that I appreciate about our crew so much, especially like the amount of thought process that we put behind this between this panel here, especially Miranda creating the workouts and the goal times and stuff. She's always messaging us as she's programming a workout, like, hey, how long do you guys think this would take you? And because
The
our
answers
staff,
are varied.
exactly, our staff is so varied, it kind of gives us a goal time on the faster end of things and a goal time on the on the slower end of things. And so one of the things that really think is funny because the games, we have a lot of people that do CrossFit background, so they just got done watching the games and they're like, I want to go heavier, I'm so motivated. I'll tell you what, all you need to do is take one of the SP workouts and go RX plus or go heavier by 20-30 pounds, and newsflash, that's the reality. How did that go for you? Did that crush you? Okay, that's just a little taste of what that would do to you. So
Yeah, so kind of like to piggyback off of what Alex was saying, and then to answer it for the regular programming too, I think it depends on what the shift workout is. Like, I think you could do it either way. I think you could either do the program A weight with the shift reps, or you can take your single dumbbell or single kettlebell and do program A with it, or use, we write 25-pound dumbbells for the ladies and 40-pound dumbbells for the men, but that's not to say that you couldn't do that entire workout with 8-pound dumbbells just to give it a try. So there's not really one right way to like start moving from one to the other that way. But yeah, I mean, so a lot of times when I write the weights for even RX or RX Plus, which is what we call it now, hopefully one day that will change, it usually will say like 115 plus, 75 pounds plus. Your goal in customizing the workout is to look at the intended stimulus, look at the goal time, for example, and be like, what weight am I capable of doing this? If it's 115 plus and you can make that goal still happen with 155, go for it. What we see more often though is people going 115 and missing the goal when they should have used 95. So it's you personally, and again, like Jeb said, there's 30,000 of you, and if we had all 30,000 of you in front of us, you would all be doing completely different variations of the workout depending on who you are and what your fitness level is.
So when you say scale, modify, customize, these are all things that mean changing the workout to fit you, and this can be up or down, right, in terms of difficulty level. You don't have to scale down always. You can be increasing the difficulty as well.
Yeah, and you could scale down one thing and scale up another thing depending on your ability level. Like you could have to modify pull-ups because you're not ready to do regular pull-ups, but you're totally fine using a heavier weight. So I see a lot of times, like I saw in the conversations last week about people saying you guys should create levels, but that's impossible because each individual person is on a different level for all the different movements and everything like that. And the other thing that we want to talk about with customizing that I think needs to be a huge point of conversation is that it's not always about ability level. A lot of times, I would dare say even most of the time that people are customizing, it's because of available equipment. So just because you did bent over rows instead of pull-ups doesn't mean that it was an easier workout. Maybe you just don't have a pull-up bar. So what else do you have to say about it's not always ability level that would drive you to customize something?
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes back to really the big question, the big picture is why are we doing this?
Here we go. This is a Jeb and Flo episode. We just started.
But it's are you doing this so that you can feel like you did something better than someone else who you may or may not even know? Or are you trying to get, a certain body composition? Or are you trying to just, get your mental health in the right place and feel more confident in your body and that kind of thing? And so the answer to that is basically what you should take into what you're trying to do with the workouts and how you're going to change them. So it really just comes down to you're going to change the workout, or you're going to take a look at the write-up and adjust whatever you need to, tweak whatever you need to, so that at the end of the workout, you feel like you did something, you feel tired, and you feel happy. You feel more confident. And that's really as simple as it needs to be. So, yeah, I mean, equipment, I think, is probably the equipment, and then maybe some kind of tweak in the body if you're feeling a little funky somewhere. And, if you're working out with high intensity, if you're doing things with impact, if you play any kind of sport, there's always some little thing that just feels a little naggy, and it doesn't mean that you're injured. It doesn't mean that you need to just sit on the sidelines. It just means that you might want to give that particular body part a bit of a break and do something a little bit different.
I think that's a great point that you made about what are you trying to get out of this? And that could change, and it probably does change for most people day to day. Some days, I know a lot of times if we've had like a long day with the kids or whatever, or if the kids are even in the room, it's like, all right, I'm not even worried about my time today. Like, I just need to get my workout in, and I'm not going to be throwing a barbell around because it's not super safe with the boys. So I'm just going to grab the sandbag. Sometimes it's you roll in there and you, when I'm feeling lazy and I don't want to warm up as much, I'll grab the sandbag because it's lighter than the dumbbells or the barbell. Or I like to slam the sandbag down when I'm, having like a more of a mental health day. Something that Nicole and I were talking about right before we started filming actually was tomorrow's workout has toes to bar in it. Maybe you're somebody who's been working on toes to bar, but you look, I think it's like 12 reps per round. And you're like, well, I know I can string 3, but basically looking at the goal, I'm not going to be able to do sets of 12 and get the score that they're looking for, but I really want to try doing toes to bar in a workout. So that would be an instance where, all right, I'm just going to do 6 every round. That's something that I've been doing a lot lately as I've been adding pull-ups back in. So what are you trying to get? In that case, you want to test yourself and see if you can do toes to bar in the workout, but you don't want to miss the stimulus so much by trying to do it the way it's written. So you can customize to make it work for you and see how it goes. So there's basically, you can't mess it up. Like, play around with it. If you crush the goal, then you're like, okay, well, next time I could have done 8 toes to bar maybe, or I could have gone a little bit heavier. If you're way behind it still, you're like, okay, maybe toes to bar in the workout, not ready for that yet. Go back to the drawing board. Let me hit some V-ups next time it's programmed. There's no real right way to do it. We want to teach you guys to know what you're capable of, and so that you can start making better decisions.
So we have so many options with street parking. We have a question from Nick the Brown who says, how do you not overwhelm yourself with options? So you're talking about mixing and matching. We have so many different varieties. He wants to know, he loves all the extras, but can't decide. What do you do?
Will you repeat the question before you answer, please?
Oh yeah, repeat the question. Like, you can summarize.
So the question is, there are so many options available with street parking. How do you not become overwhelmed? And how do you make a decision on what to do? So for me, it's pretty simple, but I also, maybe my capability levels help me keep it simple, where I just look at the workout and I'm like, oh, this is today's workout. This is what I'll do. But with that being said, I actually have a few limitations right now where I'm having to make customizations to accommodate for little nagging injuries and tweaks and things. So then it's a matter of maybe looking at what the shift movements are some simpler movements versus complex movements better for me today. I don't know about like extra programs or accessories though.
Yes. Well, I think it goes back to what Jeb was saying. Like, what's your goal? If your goal is straight up general fitness, and honestly, probably most body composition goals, if those are like your 2 main things, hitting the main workout with intensity, is great. It's great. Like, I would start there. Now, if you love lifting and that's just something that just makes your heart happy and you've got the stuff to do it, then yeah, throw in those extra programs. It comes down to, what are you trying to get out of it? How much time do you have? And what are you trying to dedicate? And that's all personal as well. We want you guys to make the program work for you. Our purpose in providing so many options is not to make people feel like they need to do everything. Our purpose is to help you guys be consistent, and we feel like if you have choices and you get to choose what's right for you, and we're not saying like everybody should be doing power, everybody should be doing butts and guts, you have to do the main workout 6 days a week. It's like, no, here's all the buffet options. Pick the ones that you like and the ones that make your heart happy, and we'll help guide you based on what your goals are, but there's no right or wrong way to do it.
Yeah, also, you're here, right? You found street parking. You made it. So take your time. There's so much stuff to do, but it's like, if you do a daily workout one day, awesome. If you decide you want to do an accessory workout, cool. You'll go back to the dailies tomorrow. But yeah, don't be in any rush, because hopefully you're not going anywhere. So there's plenty of time to, get after it.
So deep.
Yeah, and like one of the cool things too that I've realized for myself as street parking has evolved, right? Where before we'd stick to what the exact workout was, and then that's it, right? No matter how I was feeling. As time has gone, and we've even embraced our message even on a deeper level. Because we go live every day so that our members can see how the flow of the workout the next day goes, or a street parking workout goes. There's times where I literally will, because we've invested in having multiple pieces of equipment. That's something that I think once you have the ability to do so, you can't go wrong with investing in more equipment for your garage gym, because once you have it. You don't need to continue making further investments in a barbell and weights or dumbbells or sandbag or a kettlebell. Like, that's it. Like, you're set. Once you have it, you have it. If you want to keep progressing, go heavier, go for it, right? But that's exciting. So for us, one of the things that I'll look at a workout and I'll be like, okay, you know what? I'm actually going to do, if it has deadlifts and step-ups in it, I might do a barbell deadlift and go a little bit heavier. And then for the step-ups, grab dumbbells or a kettlebell and kind of really start changing it up, and then really combining it and customizing it. See, you guys are picking up on a flow here. I would customize the workout to fit exactly what I want to do, because it's my workout. Now I know I'm in control of exactly what I want, and to make it very entertaining. And again, the template's there. The workout is there. And now I'm just making it work for me, what seems fun, and just to continuously keep changing it up. And that's it.
Are you guys a fan of the middle of the workout customization? Like, you're 2 rounds deep and you're like, nope, or this is too easy? Or have you been known to make a mid-workout customization?
That's a good one. That's a good question.
Oof. There's times where I do
You
it.
probably do it more than any of us.
I do, because like sometimes, like if depending on the time, I might look at a workout and be like, okay, I'm going to start off and let my earlier rounds kind of be like warm-up rounds, so I don't have to take so much time worrying about my warm-up process due to time. And then as the workout progresses, then if there's like intervals or breaks, then I'll continue adding weight to get to the final ends of the workout to really be the most challenging for me. I'm going to go heavy because this person went heavy, and then you're 1 round in and you totally missed the mark. Then, okay, well, lesson learned, hopefully for next time around.
Yeah, there was a time in my fitness career that I would have never, because it was a sign of weakness. And I was like, I got to dig in and just freaking finish it. It was a matter of pride, to be honest. I'm a little bit further from that now. I'm a little bit more willing to make adjustments. But on the other hand, I also, having been doing this for over 8 years, I know myself really well. So I pretty much go into every workout knowing what I'm capable of, what my limits are. And I can almost hit the nail on the head every time going into it, which I think is a skill that we have to develop, and what we want you guys to develop for yourself. It's not going to happen right away. I mean, for the first 3 years, like, I missed the mark on a lot of workouts because I was hard-headed and I would not do that. And so I learned from that, though. I always took time to reflect after every workout. What could have gone better? What did I do wrong? Maybe not wrong, but just what adjustments could I have made? And I'll take that into the next workout where there's something similar going on. But yeah. Yeah.
Rachel Rowland says, I love to customize the workouts for myself and my mom, especially when she was first starting out, and she used to feel so much guilt about it due to past gym experiences. Which brings us to a good question from Seabade. I understand RX, but how does street parking define it? And when should we not be clicking it? / do we care?
Okay, so to answer the question, so her question was, I know who defines it?
Seabade says he understands RX. How does street parking define it?
So to not get into this whole topic too hardcore with the RX thing, the system that we use for you guys to log right now, Wodify has what's called RX and RX Plus options built in. That's not something that we can take off of the page. And so we put stuff in there because people who are used to using that system or who come from a CrossFit background might be used to those terms. In that background, that term is... Honestly, it became what it has become through competition. So if me and Alex are doing the workout, we'll be assigned the weight that we both have to use so that we can compare our scores exactly. So we have to use the exact same amount of weight. We have to do the exact same movements, the exact same number of rounds and reps to be able to compare. We don't care about that. So we put those in there because it's built into Wodify and to give you guys an idea of maybe like a weight range that might work. But the goal time or the goal number of rounds, the stimulus is always what we want you guys looking at. And in the future, those terms will go away. We don't, click it away. I don't care if you don't even do a single thing, RX. Click it if you want to. We don't care. The rest, some of the people in the community might get a little upset, but we don't care. That's more for you to keep track for your records so that if we do repeat that workout or something, you remember what weight you used, you remember what version of the workout you did and things like that. You can also make all those notes in the comments when you're logging your score, but we don't care.
So basically, don't feel guilty if you don't click RX. Right. Or
no, because again, let's take the example of I just don't have a pull-up bar. So I can't, so technically RX would be pull-ups with the pull-up bar, but I did bent over rows. Is that workout easier, harder? Like, I don't know. It doesn't matter. You just did the version that you were capable of doing with the equipment that you had. Like it's not a levels thing. Again, it's make it work for your setup and your fitness level.
Awesome. Well, I think that we've been pushing time, which has been great.
Okay.
I think we'll wrap up this week's episode of the Coaches Roundtable. And Jeb, you want to kind of give them some little quick focus on yourself tips?
Sure. Also, real quick, just to circle back to Exhibit. One time I rolled dice with him in Vegas. It was fun.
Rolled dice?
Yeah, at the Palms. Made each other some money.
Oh
okay,
my.
so...
So random.
I think the big takeaways for this is really like what we keep saying over and over is we are trying to provide a framework that everybody can use. And we would much rather teach you to fish than to hold your hand and tell you exactly every single little thing to do. Because if you get to a point where you can just look at a workout and read a description of that workout and adjust what you need to adjust so that you get what you need to get out of that workout, then honestly, there's really no limitation to what you can get out of this program and what you can achieve fitness-wise. So again, that all comes down to focusing on yourself and figuring out what it is that you want to get out of this and not worrying about what anybody else is doing, what buttons they're clicking, what language they're using, or any of that stuff.
Nice. Well, we're looking forward to catching up with you guys next week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got
It's a
another roundtable next week. Miranda will choose surprises with the topic. And have a great week, guys.
Bye. Bye. If you're a real human being with a real life, you cannot do it all of the time. Finding the time to do what the fitness industry would have you believe you need to do seems impossible. We scroll through Instagram and we see these perfect pictures or these programs or these supplements, and either everything is really time consuming or really expensive, or you need a full access to so much equipment or a trainer or whatever it might be. And it just, when you're working and you leave your home at 8 a.m. and you come home at 6 p.m. and you just want to spend some time with your family, and then once they go to bed, you're exhausted, it seems impossible for you to do anything like that to make a change, so you just do nothing. What if you just did something, like anything? What if that mom, instead of feeling like she needs to have access to a full gym and hire a trainer and buy $1,000 worth of supplements and all of this stuff, what if she just found 10 minutes 4 times a week and did some bodyweight exercises in her bedroom at the foot of her bed? And she did that over and over again. What if she stopped drinking soda and then a few weeks later she added some vegetables into her diet, all while doing these short 10-minute workouts? We're led to believe that that's not enough. And I want to change that for you guys. I know that it's enough, especially if you're just doing nothing right now. If you truly believed that 10 minutes at the foot of your bed, ditching the soda and adding some veggies, if you get to the place where you believe that that would make a difference, you would now be responsible for doing it. And if you're not doing it, you really have no excuse, because everyone can find 10 minutes 4 times a week. Everyone can ditch the soda or the beers that you're having every night or the candy that you're getting at the office. Everyone can ditch that. I think people prefer to believe that it's not that easy. And that's why people latch on to these cleanses and these over-the-top diets, because they try them and they are completely unrealistic. And they say, I can't live that way. It was too hard for me. It's just not meant to be for me. This is how I have to live. As soon as you switch your thinking into believing that doing something will get you there with consistency, it's over and over and over again. You can't tell me that a mom, a year of 10-minute workouts where she puts everything into that workout that she can, ditches the soda and adds veggies. You can't tell me that in a year of that every single week that she would see no difference whatsoever and find some motivation to change some other things along the way. Consistency is harder than doing something over the top for a short amount of time. Consistency is harder than doing something over the top for a short amount of time. It is why so few people reap the benefits of just being consistent.